I'm sure you've all heard of the whole 2012 thing regardless of all the bullshit of Nibiru, World War III, the Antichrist, the return of Jesus Christ, an age of enlightenment, etc., etc. Don't let these examples deceive you from the truth. 2012 is real, whether you like it or not. Despite what NASA says, either they are extremely stupid, or they know something and are not letting us in on it. I'm going to make this as short as possible and tell you about 3 events that you need to know that are due to be at their worst in close proximity to 2012. First, I'll start off with Event 24, which started at the end of 2008 and is due to climax between 2011 and 2013. And this is a report from NASA. Not my words, NASA. I'm only the messenger. And they claim wholeheartedly that nothing's going to go down in 2012, when of course they claim that there'll be fried satellites and a possibility of a global blackout. And the ramifications of a global blackout are bad, very ominous, and that could spell the end of civilization, or the end of the world. Furthermore, there won't be any pressurized water in faucets or at farms, which means there'll be no food and there'll be a lot of dehydrated people. And that could spell the end of humanity right there, not to mention it'd be even worse in undeveloped nations because of their infrastructure. And not to mention, with no power, there wouldn't be any power to activate the cooling systems at nuclear power plants, which means there would be nuclear meltdowns worldwide. So that could spell the end of everything. Number 2, Earth crust displacement or pole shift. And this can happen for a number of reasons. Either the sun could produce an X or Y class flare, and it could hit the Earth at just the right angle, and it could flip the Earth on its side. And then there's 2, which is probably the most realistic and more likely. Our roaming magnetic north is due to reach true north at around 2012, give or take a few years. And this is serious. And obviously the government thought it was serious because in the 50s they conducted an expedition to the Arctic Circle to see where true north was. And they'd figured out it was drifting. And the cause of this expedition was because of one man who had a theory that if magnetic north reached true north, there could be a pole shift or an Earth crust displacement. Just basically the Earth would tilt on its side, causing global earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, whatever have you. And obviously the government took this serious, so they started an expedition to the Arctic Circle, and they realized that magnetic north was roaming toward true north, and it would reach true north in a matter of a few years. And if this Earth crust displacement happened, it wouldn't just displace land, it would displace water, which means there'd be thousands of feet high tsunamis ravaging the Earth. And these tsunamis are estimated to be roughly 5,000 feet. So in order to survive these tsunamis, you'd have to at least be 6,000 feet. It'd be better if you were higher. Not to mention this pole shift would reorient where the equator was. And wherever the equator is reset, either the land will rise or it will sink. And obviously there'll be new islands and land that would sink into the ocean. And last but not least, the ramifications of if we get hit by a direct X or Y class flare because of solar cycle 24. And these holes, which are continent-sized, would expose large geographic areas to large quantities of radiation. And as for the continents lucky enough to be underneath these giant holes, would be burned to a crisp, including everyone and everything. It would be a bad day. And one of these continents due to drift underneath these holes is North America. And you don't want to be anywhere near North or South America, because when this pole shift happens, South America is going to be the most inhospitable place because of the middle of the Andes is where the equator is going to be newly established. And you don't want to be anywhere near the Andes. So don't even think about trying to go to the highest peaks of the Andes, because you'll either die from a volcano or giant landslides, and that'll be it. The same goes for the Himalayas. No vertical mountains, or you'll die. So if you can find an area that's sustainable, then go there, and you'll survive. With all of this said, this isn't New Age mumbo jumbo. This is a 2,000-year-old prediction made by the Mayans, and it's amazing how these events come in such close proximity to each other in such a short amount of time. in such close proximity to December 21st, 2012. Now what are the odds? Ask yourself, what are the odds? The time to act is now. And just remember, the clock is ticking. Good luck, and I hope to see you on December 22nd, 2012, and hopefully the years beyond. Over and out.